Alright, hey everybody, Jared, JNAP here. I'm back after doing the stream of the other game. Waiting here for Scott and Adam to get fired up, but I figured I'd do a little preview. So this is game 2, top 16 match of the GEMPC 5. This matchup's happening down here. Scott was I think that's a 9 seed, and Adam is a 4 seed. Adam was the number 3 overall seed last year in the OCS. Scott, of course, is the lead advocate. He defeated me last round. Adam, as I mentioned in game 1, Adam's one of my teammates, and Scott's one of my absolute favorite people in the organization. Obviously, great person. Adam, echobstrpr, just recently coded ELOMs, I believe it was him. I'm not sure if it was someone else on the team, but he's been doing a lot of cool coding stuff lately, so thank him for doing stuff like Bane Malar and Tractor Beams and ELOMs. So that's a little bit of context. The winner will play Dylan, or Timo Dusel, who is a 6 seed, who advanced over Jared Konsker. And then they're going to get up here in terms of the round of 8. Whoever wins this will be the Elite 8, we'll call it, like for basketball terms, and then it'll be the Final 4. So I'll close this down, leave it open. Looks like tables posted and started. All right, so let's jump in here. So this is, Scott was dark in game 1. I'll put this here so it's handy, so people don't ask like that 15 times, which happens a lot, of who won game 1 and how much was it by. So Scott won game 1 by 15. He had a lot less than lost pile playing as Scum, so he retrieved a bunch. And we have Adam playing as Imperial Entanglements. 15. I was watching the other replay. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Yeah, it was like 22-ish. I couldn't say, I had the, and this, you guys can see the 25th logo up on the top right there. It was covering up the lost pile of the light side player last game, so I kind of had to back into it by counting up all the cards on the table, out of play, and hand, etc. So the context here is Scott is I don't know if he is, but I'm going to call him it anyway. He's the leader of the My What You Have Learned Club, which has a really tough matchup against Entanglements. One of the reasons why Adam's playing it. Adam, as I said it before, he did really well in the OCS. He has played a lot of Agents of Black Sun and ISB last year. So Entanglements is not something he's played a ton. So I'm curious how this will go. In my experiences, I play Entanglements and I always play really slow with it because it's a deck that is very methodical, a lot of moves and lots of anticipating, hey, am I going to flip back this way, or how exactly is this all going to kind of play in ripple effect. But Scott playing HITCO is kind of surprising. I heard he did it in the first round. It's a pretty straightforward mains deck. Probably definitely the strongest light side mains deck right now. And it's not something that Scott usually plays some pretty wild stuff. So I wonder if we'll see anything exceptional, but this is completely cookie cutter thus far in the very, very limited beginning here. Yeah, so no sleens or nudges or some crazy stuff. I think Scott's favorite cards are that surprise, and I have a bad feeling about this. He'll redirect stuff. So we got a shuffle. We got General Leia coming to hand with the Rebel Leadership, who's really good against Entanglements because she suspends battle deployment, which is really critical to IE holding its sights and making sure that light side doesn't draw multiple battle destinies. Yeah, I remember this matchup was really key in the World Championship semifinals between Paul Myers and Kieran. Kieran, I'm trying to think if this was the one that he was playing as HITCO. Yeah, obviously. I'm not sure if this was game 1 or game 2. I think it was game 2, and Kieran won by a lot. Yeah, he won by like 24 after losing the first game by like 22 or 23. Because the first game, Kieran lost pretty badly as Diplo he was playing as Huntdown V. Paul was playing as Diplo. So this matchup, I think it definitely is a matchup that HITCO shouldn't lose by a ton. What HITCO probably wants to do is just, and anyone in the chat, correct me if they're wrong, are more familiar with these matchups, I feel like HITCO usually wants to kind of like tower at like 2 sites and just prevent IE from flipping. It's going to be hard for light side to truly win the system just because there's so much fodder and justice and commands. They might be able to get like Hanshui Falcon, which I think is what Kieran did in that matchup. I think they were actually like stalemating at the system, if I recall. Um, and then if they can just get on 2 locations with high ability characters that can't be trampled, can't be, um, you know, eliminated too easily. And the big key here, and the new Yoda, who's going to be getting changed back again, or their virtual Yoda Master of the Force, he's really neat in that he can teleport out of the desert, which usually gets a lot of characters stuck. So he can relocate. Um, yeah, Farewell Tour 2021. Yeah, but Entanglements is getting hit too. Um, yeah, Entanglements is not gonna be able to pull Admiral's orders anymore, and that's really what makes it tick. I think. I mean, that's what playing Jawa. As we're seeing some pretty standard setup here. We're getting locations out, um, docking bays. IE relies a lot on those mobilization points to try to get some early activation boost. We have Decree V, but yeah, those Admiral's orders like at Hyperdrive and Jawa is just such an auto loss because you don't have General Leia to put out to suspend battle deployment, which is completely auto pulled by Piet. Looks like Adam open-handed that, I guess, because Piet isn't even out yet. Like General Leia is one of the best ways to get around it. Smokescreen I guess gets around it too, which can work in like Hyperdrive or WAP or some other decks, but and Chris Kelly put it perfect. I think there's a built-in cost with Admiral's orders that you have to occupy a system, and because IE has this unique setup where they start with Devastator on the table, they don't have to pay for a ship, occupy, and they have this Endor shield thing too that just allows them to pull a couple Admirals that are high forfeit, super cheap. There's just so much synergy and so much like auto playability to it, or automaticness, we'll say, that I think that's what makes it one of the decks I really hate playing against. But so that's where getting the Admiral's orders. Like, look, you get the Starship, you don't get the Admiral's orders too. It's one or the other. So one of the things going back, Mind What You Have Learned, this is like the worst matchup for Mind What You Have Learned because it just can do lots of little damage. It doesn't rely on force strain bonuses. It's always going to be able to satisfy Honor of the Jedi, because it's going to be on 2, 3, 4 locations, sometimes even 5, and it just has such a head start on space as we see Justice come out. But yeah, the interesting thing with IE, I think Joe said, like, it does put a lot of cards on the table, but then it can kind of stabilize and it can start retrieving with its draw. If it's flipped, at least it can get troopers back. So it can kind of stabilize, but you don't win a lot of games with IE by 20 plus. Maybe he can get to 15, 16, but as I'm bouncing around here, I don't think Adam's gonna have a really hard time making up that loss pile difference. So I think he needs to win by 16. Well, that'll be the magic number. Like I said, the winner of this will play Timo in the Elite 8. Scott goes to his deploy phase. Adam will activate 12 next turn. Out comes Yoda's hut, probably. Yep. Yeah, yeah, it's funky seeing this background here with these things. I'm not sure what happened with Eric with the something with the colors or shading, but I know he acknowledged like, whoops, we got to get those cool backgrounds to be a little more visible. So no shock here. Jedi Knight Luke comes out. He's going to the. This is the drain -1, right? Yeah. No. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah. Unless you're smuggler or thief. He's gonna pull out Luke's lightsaber. And yeah, what Scott needs to do, obviously, is just keep chipping away. But also he has to be careful not to get too caught up in the differential and make some overly conservative choices. But threatening a drain of 3 right off the bat is pretty good for him. I don't know about that, Bill. I know. So look, when I do this, it says, "Hey, streamer mode is enabled." Oh, okay. Good call, Bill. Compresses hand layout to save space for video feed. Let's try this. Oh, okay. Thank you, Bill. So yeah, then I can make my beautiful face, or complete opposite of beautiful face, bigger. But no, we'll leave my ugly mug moderately sized here. Okay. So yeah, thanks, Bill. Flagship executors pulled by Adam. Probably a misplay that he didn't pull that first turn. Usually you see that like the very first action, but Scott didn't pull the shield. Don't do that again, shield. Oh no, well, you never would pull that because they occupy the system, duh. You never would pull that against entanglements. See, maybe you just forgot, but it didn't burn him, really? Maybe you just had to draw up just to make sure it wasn't the bottom card of his force pile. Scott's gonna play rescue. Wonder what if you're Adam here, what are you thinking is the grab for this game? Probably maybe a escape pod combo. We get the occupation damage. We get a Tarkin's bounty on Ozzel. And one of the reasons I'm really bad with IE and the few times I've played it, I always want to flip really quickly. As we have an altar to cancel Tarkin's bounty. Interesting. So he draws a 4. All right, so Adam is not going to be able to find a key card, evidently, that he's looking for. So that's interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's a play you make if you're down or if it's really close, but I kind of like it too. It's a little bit aggressive and just being like, hey, I'm not going to let you find a key card. You only have 5 cards in your hand. I don't want to let you basically take a look at 12 more to give you a good option to help you get this done. But yeah, like I was saying, like I often try to flip way too fast in IE. I think you kind of have to have like really good evasion to be able to do that, or you have to really be thinking like 2-3 steps ahead because you're playing this game a lot, especially with mains. You know, they're not probably going to win the system. It's just going to be a matter of they want to keep flipping you back so that they're not taking occupation damage, and so that, you know, they're not taking a drain of the system either, for one. If mains can kind of limit Darkside to just draining for 1/1-ish, while they're doing drains of like 3 or 2, and/or 2, that really favors mains here. Yeah, and he can try to retrieve it too. It's not like that altar has no way of coming back too. So yeah, a good play by Scott. Good aggressive play. Because again, if Adam really needed kind of a card to flip here, or a card to, maybe he's looking for Veers to pair up with Blizzard 2 and try to take out Luke. You know, he stopped that. Made sure he didn't get set back at all. Oh, good point. That's where General Veers is. With Barrier. Barrier, or is that an... Omnibox, it's worse. Okay, yeah, that's definitely a... He was anticipating... Yeah, obviously Adam was prepared for what you've learned and the shenanigans of damage mitigation that offers. So Adam's going to put out another site. Let's see. Now, I always forget this with the system. It should default. Maybe that's good feedback for Eric. It should default to have the merger chat and the... Hold on. What did I miss anything? Glad I didn't play chat. Oh, so we haven't seen any real dialogue here. All right. So a lot of times too, you'll see like Tempest Scout 5 is the card that comes out here. I know Dylan and Myers do that a lot. Blizzard Scout 1, or is usually Blizzard Scout 1V, is something that you want to use a lot of times like offensively against like a Luke. Pair it with a Walker, get rid of his immunity to attrition, or just any kind of key character. Maybe even like Leia. She can be right? Because that could cancel Leia's text, and then you get your battle deployment turned back on. That type of stuff. So the Moss Espa Docking Bay comes out. We got 4 locations. Adam has 12 force to work with. One of the things entanglements too is, okay, you get this cool thing where you start a starship on the table, but like the activation ratio is like awful, especially if you're not really capitalizing on mobilization points. Because I mean, look at this standard. I mean, he's got the 2-1-0 documents out, but 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What is that, like 11 to 5? You know, something like that. But with mob points, he's got a little bit more. But the other thing too is it looks like, you know, Luke's gonna be able to drain here, move prophecy, and then this is you know, drain a 4, which Adam shouldn't have a hard time, you know, satisfying resistance. But I'm not sure if he can win this game by just avoiding Luke. I think he's got to get rid of this at some point. Maybe he can just keep chipping away, but he can't just trade, you know, pretty similar damage for too long, especially because it's like such a head start for HITCO, because it's going to put a lot less cards on the table, because it's not playing like numpties and ATSDs. It's playing like strong main characters for now of the sequel trilogy and the original trilogy. Yeah, EP1 Jedi aren't allowed. Padawans aren't allowed. So Adam's going to his move phase. He's got Piet. Who's Piet's a docking bay? Alright, so he gets the flip. He's got a couple of reacting ATSDs. Scott's going to activate 13. He'll have 15 force to work with. If he drains, he's going to have 12. We know he's got a General Leia in his hand. Adam consolidates a little bit. So it's good the way he had this set up here, because, you know, Scott can't just like drop a dude at the, well, he can, but then he's gonna get him stuck at the desert. Maybe he puts Yoda out here. Yoda, somebody here, flips him back. Maybe walks Yoda into the desert, and then he can teleport Yoda out at some point if he wants. Or, you know, he's got probably a couple different options on how to flip Adam back, just so that Adam can't then start doing this control phase peak to kind of take a look at, you know, 3-4 cards and take a key one into hand. The secret plans come out. And there is no try. Was this was Alter V, right? Or was Scott going with the OG? Yeah, Alter V. One that cancels political effects and battle order. So he's got all 4 out. He probably has a Min and or a Cold Feet. Trying to think, he might want a code clearance at some point. Might want resistance at some. Actually, I don't know. Right? I kind of feel like resistance might be pretty important for this matchup. But people more versed in IE can let me know what their thoughts on Adam's shields there is. Okay, Anakin Skywalker to oof. So now this, yeah. So now it's not even just gonna be a 3 and then possibly 4 next turn. Maybe Adam has the Tarkin's orders, which would be pretty key to just buy him a turn to kind of, you know, now he's got 9 cards in hand. As his first couple turns he had a lot less. Yep, there's Tarkin's orders. Okay. Alright, so maybe, you know, buys him a turn to maybe find another shield puller or somehow attack Luke. So probably a good shield play for now. Because you're definitely going to want battle order. Definitely going to want secret plans. Tarkin's orders is grabbed. Probably a pretty good grab for Scott. You know, he wants to be able to get these drains through. Because it's kind of tough to overflow IE because of all these reacting, and you know, he's got a barrier, he's got high forfeit guys, and with battle deployment as well, as long as Leia isn't out, but she's probably going to come out. Yep, there she is. So battle deployment gets suspended. And now we take a glimpse to the future of IE without without an Admiral's order on table. Although General Leia, you know, being so good, she's in so many decks, this is not like a rare thing nowadays. So Adam pulls a second battle deployment. If Adam reacts here, he's going to flip back because he's going to control no sites, and Scott's going to control one, and that's the flip condition, is if light side controls more than you do. So you get a battle. Leia's going to prompt a retrieval. Scott going to pay here. Yep. So he gets his altar back. He's now at 41 cards face down to Adam's 24. Adam has 4 more cards in hand. Let's see, Adam. I wonder if Scott, in his 5-card hand, could he have a Nestler? Would a Nestler combo? Sneak attack. Okay. Plays a card from hand on top of reserve deck. And we get a sense. Okay. So I wonder. Oh, because we know he has the battle deployment, so that's a good play by Scott, I guess. Because if he draws the 5, he can kill you. Someone's gonna die. Whereas maybe he's got like a 3 there, and then Scott has neither lady here get killed after the battle. But that's gonna be 3 cards tossed to the lost pile. Not the worst thing in the world for Scott, since he has a way to retrieve. We're still in the just actions, right? Sneak attack is a just, opponent just initiated, so he still could potentially react. Looks like the timer's probably on Adam. Yeah, okay, here we get the react. Here comes Tempest Scout 5, and that's going to add the power. He's going to flip back. Tempest Scout 5 adds 1 to the power of other combat vehicles. If Scott has a leadership here, he might be able to draw enough to knock off, 2 pilots, but as is, it's going to be hard for him to knock off more than one of these pilots. So now he plucks a card so that Ahsoka won't modify Darkseid's Destiny. And he grabs the Blizzard 4, which Blount. I know, some people have mentioned with post-errata that maybe like the Aratech Corporation V, I think that makes the ATSTs mean less than 3 or 4, right? That would make it so that these guys both survive. As he draws Moff Gideon, so Dark wins the battle, but Light is immune, so Scott can peel 2 here if he wants. And just keep both his characters out, which would make it pretty tough for Adam to flip back on his turn. But with Blizzard 4, he could definitely get some more power out there. Tempest Scout 5 would add 1 to it, so that's like 9 quick power. And depending on who he uploads, maybe he uploads like Gideon, which we just saw drawn, so Gideon can be uploaded, who could then pull a trooper, potentially like a garrison. So this could be an interesting counter beat. This is a pretty important turn. Adam's not going to be able to move Prophecy right now, so Scott can threaten that drain of 4, especially with Tarkin's orders grabbed. Adam's only activating 13, so Goldenrod Shield's out. So Blizzard 4 would be 7 in all, 8. Kind of thinking he had to satisfy the maintenance costs. That'd be 8 of his 13. So he doesn't have a ton of other force to work with. But we'll see. It's kind of a big turn. Alright, you can't drain the system on the 0 side. Diplo, I think the drain is -1, but for entanglements, I think it's just the opponent loses no force. So here comes Blizzard 4. He's going to upload. I'm going to bet it's going to be Gideon. Maybe Vader, though, because Vader can then flip HITCO back at least. It's not like he's got to worry about a weapon yet. Maybe like EPP Ray comes out, but this was a matchup I streamed. It was Joker King versus Tom. And Thomas HITCO won by like 18, I think, maybe 17. So that was a pretty recent top 16 match. Or no, that was a top that was second round. Yeah, because Joker King played Stubley in the top 16. Right. Yeah, so Leia's tech's gonna go away. Yeah, this could be interesting. So Scott's only got 4 cards in hand. If you're Adam, definitely a risk worth taking given your position of hopefully he doesn't have the Hujix, but okay, he gets Oberk. So you're hoping for Garrison and you just get Oberk, who's pretty much your what's the phrase, standard issue Biker Scout Trooper. He doesn't really do anything. He's a 2/5, 2/2, Destiny 3. He can find characters that are missing. Might be good for Premier Death Star 2 format when you got to worry about Lost in the Wilderness. And Imperial restores in a lot of decks. Okay, and Tempest got 1 as well. That's definitely going to have a pilot, I imagine. This might have been better if Adam put out... He's got to have a pilot here. Because otherwise you just put Tempest got 1 out first and then you upload the Oberk. But yeah, we're looking at 16 power. He's going... Yeah, okay, so there's Elsic, who can be sacrificed to satisfy all remaining battle damage and attrition. And then he could be retrieved, if and when Adam gets to the 7 side. He's got 3 force left to work with. He's going to need 1 to battle, 1 to make sure Blizzard 4 doesn't go lost. And he might have 1 more. I'm not sure I don't think he's going to be able to flip. Because he needs to get to 3 locations. Assuming he can clean off both, wipe off these 2 characters. Battle phase 23 to 8. And so, and Leia and Ahsoka cover exactly 15. And then Gideon. Gideon makes all rebels power -1, right? Yep, so Ahsoka's 1 less power. Her game tech's canceled, so now he doesn't even need to, pluck a card with Justice. So I guess, if he had a way to add a Destiny, then he wants to cancel Leia's text, but no need. So Scott just rolls a 3 versus a 4, so that's going to be 1 overflow. But he's got to lose somebody, or Adam has to lose somebody. Probably Oberk, right? I mean, Elsic has such good text. Yeah, that Piet, a lot more helpful up in space. So Tarkin's Ward's the grab. So Adam could loop, or not loop, but he can probably find a lot of utility in his Imperial commands for the rest of the game. I think Scott, he has to lose Leia here, right? There's no way he peels. Yeah. Especially, so the battle deployment's back. There's no coward, so if Scott really wanted to get Leia back, he could walkling her. So Gideon's going to get out and hop into Tempest Scout 1. Yeah, Adam needs 1 more force, because then he could have branched out his ATSDs flipped. And with Tempest Scout 1 being able to react for free, he can have some flexibility. Scott's only got 4 cards in hand. Adam's got 6. Never mind. So just other jump, as we're kind of getting to the end of this move phase here. I know Joe and Brandon, Killer Kiwi, and a Rebel Spy are going to be playing their game 1 tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. Taco Bill may cover that, or maybe somebody else. That is the only one of the 8 top 16 matchups that hasn't had any games played yet. Last night, Adam Trunzo advanced past Wayne in a really tight match, And CRG defeated Paul Myers by 18, I think it was, 17 or 18. Profit over ISB, really fun profit build. So their game 2 is TBD. So it's like Adam's thinking here a little bit, but as we just toggle here, yeah. So this matchup's gonna finish. Myers and CRG, TBD, and then we have both games of. So we have three games left in the round, and then we're gonna go to the Elite Eight, and it's gonna be either Joe and Brandon versus Joker King, Adam versus Richcraft, and Kyle Kruger versus Myers or CRG, and then Timo versus Scott or Adam. So as I jump back here, he's going to move Tempest Scout 5 and Tempest 1. Oh no, he paid Blizzard 4 as well. What am I missing? Oh, he just documented transited, duh. Okay. Alright, so that's, a way of, hey Scott, if you want to throw some more characters out, you're going to need to go to the desert, or you're going to be stuck. As we get a drain of... Oh yeah, so I'm sorry, I was... Yeah, this is -1 unless a Smuggler or Thief is here. So this was never going to be a drain of 4. So yeah, the resistance never made sense. Now it might have made sense since Prophecy's there. He had the Tarkin's Orders to buy him a turn as I talked about. Occupation, bounty, and he tosses his second battle deployment. Interesting turn here. So Scott's got 13 force to work with, 5 cards in hand. You wonder if he tries to just get a couple more guys out, just to make it so Adam can't flip. Because it's pretty likely Adam's going to flip next turn unless Scott does something. And he's going to have these 3 ATSTs that can react around to kind of balance out the power. DVP, I won't be covering that game tomorrow. It's going to have to be somebody else. That's a tough time for me, 1 p.m. Eastern. On a weekend. No daycare. Even though work is not happening on a Saturday, usually. So Yoda's going to get downloaded, yep, and he's going to teleport somewhere. So ideally in this matchup, you get Yoda in your hand, and then you can use that teleport or relocation, we'll call it, out of the desert. I know Paul Myers, when he had a couple posts, was talking about how this Yoda relocation text was something really tilting in HITCO's favor in this matchup. But you would see a lot of 2 Yodas in HITCO recently at Worlds. I think that was probably more common than 1. He is getting eroded, as was discussed in Holo Theater. He can only, instead of going once per game during your move phase, relocate to a battleground site, he can only go to an episode 1 battleground site. Much more thematic. Well, actually, it was kind of, I guess the theme would be if he goes to Yoda's hut, if he escapes, in episode 3. Or as was discussed, episode 2, episode 3, he's going to the Clone Wars, going to Kashyyyk, help out the Wookiees, that type of stuff. Yeah, you're right, Bill, in this matchup, but now that he used the once per game. But yeah, if you open-handed him, he can get out of there. But yeah, post-errata he can. I'm really curious about the post-errata because I know Joe had a couple posts and a couple other people were mentioning some things about Court being pretty strong. I think Joker King, his beloved Court, was taking a little bit of the approach of, hey, let's see how it goes. People are going to adapt and react. And of course, people are always going to adapt and react. But the adapt-react might be, I can't play QMC anymore. I can't play Watch Your Step anymore. I can't play No Idea, really. So I know I'm not going to play QMC anymore. I really like playing that. But if, just the confluence of a lot of different forces, Hunt Down V is really tough for it too. Even though Hunt Down V is getting taken down a notch, it's just, they have the tools to catch QMC in a battle at some point. You just grab the path and you just keep working them down. If Hunt Down V can kind of build together their compact space package like a shuttle and get it through a barrier or something, maybe something can happen, but it's it's early pressure. Scott's going to put Yoda in the desert. And, you know, a Blizzard Scout 1 would be helpful against Yoda to kill his immunity, but we know Veers is on this, so he's not going to be able to do like the Blizzard 2 Veers combination. So Adam's kind of left here just draining for 1 and 1. He's down to 20 on Life Force. He's got to win by, we said, 16. Couple drains here. You know, he knows this more. You know, obviously, Adam knows he can't keep trading these. He's going to have to do some type of aggressive play at some point. Because, like, even right now, it's going to be 2 or 4 to 2, basically. You know, Scott reloaded his hand a bit, so he's at 10. So, you know, HITCO plays characters like Lando or Padme or Rey or Jin, probably. Like, plenty of characters he can kind of keep throwing at Adam and making sure that he's got to fight to earn and hold these sites. But, you know, Scott's just probably going to, as much as he's allowed, just keep throwing more characters at the Desert and the Mos Espa to make sure that Adam's not going to be able to get the Control 3 sites and flip back. Because, I mean, if IE can't be on 7 side, it just isn't that strong. Or if it loses the system. I like that approach with, like, I think Y4 Ops can beat Entanglements, especially you get the 2 projectile Skywalker, and then you just throw the Mother Load at Tatooine, and then just win that, and then you're draining probably for 2-2 and retrieving, and they're draining for maybe 1-2, maybe 3-ish. You can snap the drain. I kind of like Y4 Ops against Imperial Entanglements, actually. So as Adam's kind of planning out his turn, maybe we'll just do a little bit of housekeeping. So I'll do my plug for my Premiere to Death Star 2 retro event. I think in the bottom scroll there's a quick tiny url.com/retro2021 if you guys are interested in playing in a free throwback event to a format from July to about October of 2000. That should be a fun event to kind of just mix things up. And I think it's going to gel really well with being April, May, end of April. The MPC is going to be here, so just over 2 months away. So if people are, you know, you're practicing your open decks, you're probably using the private tables to play with your teammates. You know, you don't want to get pinned on too many things going into a match play event. So that's one of the, and it's an off month for the OCS. So that was one of the reasons why I thought April would be good for the retro event. So people can kind of play this alt event. They can kind of prep privately for the MPC while at the same time not worrying about showing off their open decks tendencies within the OCS as well. So that's coming up. Jawas in Love just wrapped up. There is a really cool video on the YouTube channel that Kendall made a song, Under the Hood, Jawas in Love recap. It's like a quick video tournament report, like 5 minutes. Really cool, really cool song. Pretty catchy. I listened to it a bunch. He did a nice job with that. And with that event was really nice. Went over really well. I think, you know, a lot of good feedback and people who were like, you know, the prizes were neat, so that I was able to play a bunch and had some good incentive in the way it was structured to, you kind of pick your poison of, hey, do I want to just kind of crank games, get some good volume in, hopefully win a bunch, or do I want to kind of go short and sweet and hopefully try to play, you know, maybe like 12, 15 games and do really well. So we had a couple of them both. As Adam gets out Tempest Scout 2, gets out Thrawn. I think this was another feedback item on the new UI in the latest 163 build, is that the foils look kind of crazy. Yeah, wow. Okay. The people that the GEMP foil haters are definitely not going to be happy with that. That's whew, I don't know what's going on there. So that's got to be toned down a little bit. That looks like the foil just like exploded or something. So yeah, I think that's going to be a couple tweaks. And that's the cool thing about this public beta setup with the new UI is that people can detect, report, maybe offer some suggestions a lot quicker than it was in beta, or private beta, we'll say. But now that it's decently operational, it's not like everything's breaking. It's just kind of fine-tuning things and aesthetics. So Adam's going to move Blizzard 4 into the desert here. Probably going to switch a pilot somehow. He could, block these drains, but then it's very, very likely Scott's going to reinforce one of these sites and attack. Adam still has 7 force, so he's got plenty of force to kind of shuffle these guys around. I'm not sure if I was Scott, I probably would have waited till the draw phase to play that, because he might be blocking the drain anyway. Although, moving it around because of Twilight impacts the force generation, so you can get an extra force. I've seen that a few times with HITCO where they might really want an extra force that turn 1, so they'll just play that Anakin, move Prophecy, which will then add a force. If early in the game it's not adding any icons because it only adds an icon to each side if it's at a battleground. But sometimes they'll do that to get that extra 1 force, which could be the big difference, as people have talked about with those early. I think those MHT made a comment about like just the time value of force activation, which I'll think of that a lot because it really more force early in the game. That's why Throne Room was so potent with Walkling, and why some of these early game decisions are so important, and how you get your activation set up, and it's like a hot topic of costing. How do you properly cost pullable activation? Because if it's all really free, it really, really speeds up the game, and it can really make a swing difference of being able to force a threat in a drain of 3 on your turn 2 versus not. So that can have big ramifications with those early game activation stuff. So Adam's still kind of moving guys around. Let's see what else is going on. Looks like a lot of leagues are starting up, which are pretty fun. Looks like we got Naboo, Kashyyyk, Yavin 4, Alderaan, Coruscant, Bespin. Hopefully the Endor League does one. They had a league last year, and there's a lot of guys in that region who play. Maybe the Atlanta area, Atlanta Dagobah might have one. Maybe Routes here with Germany. So hopefully there's a lot of leagues. The prizes for leagues are pretty cool this year, a bit different. So yeah, lots of stuff going on right now. February, March, April. So as they're shuffling around, hold on 1 minute. I'm gonna be right back. All right, hey guys, sorry about that. All right, so I'm back. So it looks like I missed an activation phase. Scott is going to take a peek with HITCO. He's at 27 versus Adam's 18. Adam covered up all of Scott's threatened drains. It is extremely likely that Scott has probably 3 or 4 characters in his hand, maybe more. Yeah, hold on 1 sec. I gotta go. I'll be right back. I'm back. Daughter's got blood curling screams. It's just a bad nightmare. I think she's okay now. Alright, so looks like I missed a control phase. So yes, this matchup can get kind of grindy at this phase of, you know, not a lot of damage being forced. If IE is on Zero's side, it's going to have trouble doing any damage. The one thing that Adam might have going for him here is if he can kind of corner Scott's characters with the desert. He's got no force saved, so he could react with Tempest Scout 1 into the desert if Scott tries to attack him there. But he's not going to be able to move Blizzard Scout 1. Obviously, Blizzard Scout 1V will be able to cancel Yoda's immunity, or, you know, if Leia comes back out to suspend it. Scott uses his once per game to verify. I guess he has no other ways to do that. So he burned a shield for it. Still has one left. Looks like there's something in the chat. You should let me flip to make this more exciting for the viewers. Go ahead. Battle into both locations. Decline to draw to make it even. That was a little banter there. That's good. Out comes EPP Obi. And Scott still has plenty of force to work with here. You know, he doesn't have to fear a barrier. Tempest Scout 1 could reach over there. You know, Lando comes out for power, but he's not going to add anything unless we see Leia. Or not going to add a battle destiny, put it that way. But you know what? I almost wonder if, you know, 4 cards in hand, Adam's on his front side. But Scott does need to get some damage through at some point. Well, I guess they're both kind of stalemated right now. Neither side's doing damage. So there might be a couple turns here of minimal action. I don't know. Would you guys call this a stack game? Stack meta here? It looks like, obviously there's just a bunch of vehicles out here. But this isn't good that this can kind of veer towards a very stale game quickly, unless there's something that happens pretty fast. So we get a battle here. Scott's going to force Adam to make a decision on whether he wants to react with Tempest Scout 1. Is that Arnett? Yeah. Nope, so he declines. We got a battle destiny 6. I'm guessing Scott tracked that? Maybe not. Maybe you could have tracked it with like my father, but if, I mean, there's 3 or 4 more Lukes floating around. So Adam draws a 3. That's going to be a stack of card to conflict. And, well, no, Gideon will cover. For some reason I was thinking this guy only had 5 forfeit. Yeah. So he'll leave him there. And now, this is interesting. So now yeah. Scott's probably going to have to reinforce Yoda here, right? I mean, he might not get overflowed, but there's a chance now that maybe there's a way that Adam can flip back, which is why it wouldn't have been crazy if Scott just kind of threw a bunch of guys out and said, you go, I'm not going to battle. Yeah, neither side's doing any direct damage. I mean, the conflict is, but that, you know, as a result of battling, obviously. Adam's got Justice out to kind of cover, to actually cover for him getting in any real pickles. I mean, Justice and deployment. This is why I hate IE, because it's like it just caps the and commands that synergize with your pullable admirals. It's really hard for Lightside to get multiple battle destinies, which means that it's really hard for things to die and the game to and then even if you do kill off a Destiny or a forfeit 5 or 6 trooper, they're going to come back around again. All right, so Lando satisfies his maintenance cost. Scott's at 29, Adam's at 28. So Scott's up 11, and he's got 4 more in hand. So Scott's still pretty good, but yeah, this is just crazy. I shouldn't say crazy. It's not really crazy for this matchup. He just got a lot of cards out, and there's no drains being threatened. And we got a trample on Lando. So Adam really needs another character or vehicle. Well, he could download a vehicle possibly. But we've seen just about all of them, right? Maybe he downloads Blizzard 2. We get a sense here. I'm not sure about this. So let's say he hits, and then he drains for 1. But it's gonna be, I guess Scott's almost betting in a way that, hey, if Adam doesn't have any characters, or even, even if he has even if he has like an ability 2 vehicle, he's not even gonna be able to draw Battle Destiny against Lando because it's only his Destiny 1. So he's maybe just trying to be like, hey, I just want to hang on to these sites and make sure he doesn't flip. And that's one of the ways that Adam could possibly flip. Here we go for the battle deployment. Let's see if there's any vehicles in the reserve. This is the other thing. Obviously, people who play IE know this, but like, your hands get low a lot. I mean, I guess maybe that's one of the things that differentiates really, really strong and really what's the word? Trained IE players is that they can balance keeping their hand at a decent size, making sure they have answers, and making sure that they're. Again, this is just why I think this deck takes a really long time to play, because you have to constantly be like planning out 2 turns or 2 cycles ahead. Because if you just keep playing this seesaw game of flip back, it's not, you're not gonna be able to win. So I'm guessing that there is a vehicle in there. Maybe he's actually got 2 options, or maybe Adam's just taking a careful look at what the other 4 cards are. But he's only got 2 cards in hand, so he doesn't have. He doesn't have too many lines of play right now. Okay, here comes Blizzard 2. Yeah, 6 force. Okay, against Yoda. All right, this might need a Hujix because he's gonna get his game text canceled. So he's only gonna be power 3. He's only gonna cover 10. So he's staring at 9 plus whatever difference in Battle Destiny. Gideon, okay, and now he's gonna be able to whack off Lando as well. And he can kind of clear these 2 sites, and then maybe move one of these somewhere to that Mos Espa docking bay and flip. So this is looks like a pretty good turn for Adam. He's got no cards in hand. Although he's not gonna be able to battle, move, and keep Blizzard 4 alive. Right? It's not like Anakin's out. He's gonna have to pay for those 2 battles. You definitely. If you had to pick one, or maybe he just says, hey, I'm going to lose Blizzard 4. Maybe it's like, got to take some risks. That's the other thing about IE. I feel like I've said that a lot. The thing about IE, as Free Ride combo comes out to cancel Celebration. So that's a bummer for Adam. But you always wish you always wish you have like a couple more force to work with. I mean, he's activating 13, which isn't like super low, but there's just so many things you want to do each turn of moving guys around, initiating battles. You don't. It's a tremendous like budgeting project, really. He's gonna grab a card. I mean, do we know? He might even have the Hujix. If Scott doesn't have the Hujix, that's going to be huge. But I have a feeling he probably does. And Adam draws a 4. Scott draws a 5. Oh, so maybe he just loses Blizzard 4 here. And then he just moves. This is Ozzel. So yeah, he tosses Blizzard 4, especially because he's got another one. Yoda's going to go plus another 9 or Hujix. And then maybe he battles Lando and then just moves somebody and then banks on the free react from Tempest Scout 1. Yeah, there's the Hujix. Okay. But this is going to get tricky though, because Scott, I've said it a few times now, like, he's not forcing any damage. He's going to have to. So now this is only, Lando's going to get 1 power, 1 added to his power because of his text. And Hujix is going to get retrieved, which, what are you going to do? You can't grab it. Probably not going to have many additional opportunities to overflow, but takes a card off Justice, and he took was it the Veers? Yeah, I think so. Oh no, Omnibox. I think he took Veers. I don't know. It's all playing together. It's getting late. So yeah, he definitely grabs the Omnibox there. He draws the always think with your stomach. Okay, interesting. It's one of the reasons why Scott maybe pulled this. It wasn't solely to just burn or just to get a verify at some point. Lando draws a 5, so he's gonna win the battle. And Adam's gonna have to stack a card too. I feel the conflict. That's good for Scott. Now Adam's getting really low against the amount he has to be at to win the game. But if he can stabilize, if he can just keep chasing him around with these walkers, capping him to 1 destiny, start to retrieve some of those Biker Scout troopers, he's got a chance. Scott only has 4 cards in his hand, but this might be one of those, what do you call it, like a catch-up turn almost. So Scott might just have to just draw a lot. He might not be able to have the opportunity to really attack anywhere. So Adam shuttles Grand Admiral Thrawn down. Okay. Maybe shuttle somebody up, or maybe he doesn't even worry. Just that's not a bad play. Maybe he just figures. Maybe he hasn't seen any space from Scott, or maybe he saw space in the right places that made him not too fearful. Oh, and Scott does not pull aim high, and Adam gets the free retrieval, and that's big. Because some of these match plays come down to like 1 game. It's pretty wild. Or one life force. Like that Adam Wayne game last night, that was, you just kind of you're not kicking yourself, but you're just looking back at every decision. You're like, oh man, that 1 force could have been the difference. Or, obviously, of course, there's 1 force you play a little differently if you have 1 more force, but sometimes at the end of the game, you look back and you're like, oh, I just need 1 more. So that right there is a gimme that Adam got because of no aim high. Alright, so I think both sides now are shield busted, but I know we definitely saw a Hear Me Baby from Scott, so he's got a way to get some more out. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a min. Or maybe I could even check. A min or a cold feet in here. Not that he doesn't look like he's really going to need it. Like I mentioned earlier in the game, he might need resistance, but that has worked out pretty well for Adam. I think there's only really 1 force that he punted to not having resistance out, and those other shields have been very handy. Definitely There Is No Try. That's been like a 6 force swing so far. So Scott still has a ton of force face down, 29. But Adam has every site covered and the system. So basically every battleground except the Ewok village he's got a presence at. Yeah, Leia died early on, and I mentioned that it wouldn't have been crazy if Scott punted Walkling to get her back. But I'm pretty sure she's buried, and now maybe he's got a Jedi Lev who can get her back. I really don't think that she was retrieved, but I could be wrong. Yeah, exactly. He just needs to just chip away in some way. Because Adam only has 1 card in hand. He's not really going to be able to come after. Oh boy. All right. So that's a gamble that Adam made. Now, where he definitely pulled flagship executor at one point. Did he play a force push? Did he toss the flagship? He definitely had 0 cards in his hand, right? Am I crazy? I don't know. Where did that executor go? I need to pay better attention. But this is a huge play for Scott right now, because if Scott wins space, battle into both. I just need to make sure you lose 33. That sounds doable, right? I'm not exactly doing anything. And now he punts the Walkling to get back Lando. And a Jedi load. This is definitely going to be Leia, probably. Okay, so this is a really good turn for Scott. He's doing a lot with what he started with 4 cards in his hand. So those are some key cards, not like useless red cards, but that's interesting. I wonder. I mean, at the same time, I totally understand Adam taking some risks given the position and all. But not having Thrawn up there. I mean, this could be a GG if he loses space and doesn't have another ship. Especially now, if he gets General Leia back, he could just throw Leia at the Ewok village. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we're gonna get 1 Battle Destiny, 1 Power Destiny. He punts to Kree. If Adam draws a 5 here, that will be huge. But I don't know if either side's gonna have another ship. Would not surprise me. So big draw here. Power Destiny. There's gonna be a stack here no matter what on conflict. Yeah, I think with. Let's see what's Adam's Battle Destiny is. Echo Base Troopers Battle Destiny. He draws the 3, so that's gonna be rough. Because yeah, Adam's really on his back foot here. 1 card in hand. He could maybe find a card. He's not gonna flip back. But as we just saw, he's got his General Leia, so he can put Leia out there to start. Mob points goes away, so that's now going to cut down the activation by 4. So he had 16, and then he went down to 12. Right? Docking base you occupy. So that's big too, but not that he's only got 17 face down. And we're going to get a retrieval here for Scott. Probably some high destiny interrupt would be my guess. Or your Jedi Love, that's a good card. Not the highest destiny, but good card to have floating around. Adam does not stack. And this doesn't look good for Adam. It's just ironic to me that Scott playing HITCO, because that's not a deck I could ever see him playing. But it looks like he's doing pretty well with it. This is going to be the second of 2 times he's used it. All right, so Adam is going to grab a card. He's saving. He activated all 12. He's going to pluck a card. Now he's going to look for trample. Maybe if he. All right. Maybe if he can line up a trample here, get rid of Hera. Try to eliminate Luke. But Han Chewie Falcon just chilling at Tatooine. Even if he's got to pay 3 to drain. Tempest's got 4. So wow. He went the full boat. This one doesn't even react. Right? I missed it. I think I was amazed to see that. I think it's good with weapons. And I don't really know, maybe someone in the chat knows. I feel like in Legacy, ATSD cannons were good because I remember seeing them like really highly priced, and I was always like, why? I've never seen them used in a deck. Not when I used to play way back, and not any time since I started playing again about 4 years ago. There we go. Let's see. 1 pilot or passenger, ability 1. Alright, I'm pretty sure it doesn't react. HITCO is not expected from Scott, no. But at the same time, you know, it's such a strong deck right now. I think people are pulling it out. I know Joker King, I haven't seen him really play HITCO until recently. He played it against Stubley. He played it... Oh, he didn't play it against Tom. But, you know, you're looking for a good deck. You won't get criticized for grabbing a bad deck if you're playing with Hunt Down V or HITCO right now. The biggest downside about them is that they might be anticipated a lot. So there might be some counters or some wonky decks that are gunning for those, but it's a good curveball from Scott, knowing, you know, with his tendencies. So Prophecy's going to relocate after Adam drains at the desert. You pay 3. He has no battle order. Okay, and now he's going to battle here against Luke. Luke can't play Anakin's Skywalker V because he doesn't have 2 force because it's grabbed. Draws the 5 for Omnibox. Luke's going to be immune because he's less than 7. And he's going to add 1 to his destiny because of, like, my father. So this, yeah, it's going to become a 5. So Adam's not stacking, but he's also not doing anything, unfortunately for him, here. And yeah, this doesn't look good for Adam. Alright, so he moves Tempest Scout 5 from docking bay to docking bay. He gets Thrawn on it. He so that's 16 face down. He's going to take 2 from Scott, but he's also going to be able to retrieve a trooper here. So that buys him some time of... I don't even know. I mean, if Adam doesn't have another ship and can't do anything about this drain of 2, I mean, this is going to be over. Even if he's only doing a net damage of 2, retrieve 1. Like... that's gonna get hit below, excuse me, where he needs to be pretty quickly. So Oberk comes back. And Scott will grab a card after peeking at the top 2. Do a little shuffle, play a rescue. Definitely, unless I'm crazy, right? He's just going to drain a Tatooine, and that's going to be a problem for Adam to deal with. Yeah, so he loses the second grabber, which could have been used to retrieve a ship and maybe somehow get him back into hand, but that's going to be a lot. And now comes the Chasm Walkway, probably with Leia. Or Scott could put Leia to the Ewok Village and some other character to the Chasm Walkway. Or not. But he doesn't even have to pay for battle order anymore. So this might be... there's only 1 card in hand for Adam. Scott puts 1 back with, like, my father. So yeah, if Scott did go with his trademark deck with Mom You've Learned, this definitely would have favored Adam a lot. But you know, that's the beauty and fun of match play, is the deck selection is key. I mean, sometimes you can overcome a bad matchup. Oftentimes it's you can't, but at the same time, everyone's always got to play well, and Scott played this very well. And Adam was, you know, with Entanglements, you're just kind of throwing a bunch of cards on the table at some point, and kind of hoping you can get into the cycle of getting occupation set up and getting your retrieval going with your troopers, and just keep pinging away. Okay, he's gonna send Luke off of Tatooine. Luke caused enough disruption for the game, and now he's just going to the village where Prophecy will go and stay. And Adam concedes. Okay, yeah, that was not going to get any better. Okay, so good game, good match to both guys. Pretty entertaining. I.e., HITCO does get a little grindy, but congrats to Scott for advancing. Congrats for Adam for a couple rounds. Scott will advance to play Timo, so that'll be a fun match. And then we'll see what happens here. Who's Kyle's waiting to play either CRG or Myers. Adam and Rich, and then Chris, Joker King, gonna play the winner of Joe and Brandon. So hopefully someone grabs it. Stay tuned. Watch the forums. Watch Slack for who may stream that. Hopefully someone does, or at the very worst, maybe we just get a replay and review it after the fact. But thanks everyone for tuning in. This was the matchup between Advocate and echobstrpr, and Scott will move on Advocate. All right, everyone, take care. Thanks for tuning in.